Hello everyone, this is my video summary for Module 1. Chapter 1 examines contemporary social development research and traces origins of modern thinking about children's socialization beginning in the 19th century. It explains how early theories evolved into empirical research that shaped current understanding. A central focus, Aim 1, explores how child rearing practices influence later adolescent development. Socialization is described as a complex process through which children learn to engage with peers, adopt cultural norms, and build societal relationships. I found the discussion of attachment theory particularly meaningful, especially John Bowlby's work on the bond between child and caregiver. I found this interesting to consider such a theory when explaining the relationship between children and teachers. I remember calling my teacher mom once or twice. As a mom of both an 18-year-old and a 7-year-old, I was especially interested in sections on parenting styles. It was fascinating to learn the parenting styles were first systematically studied in the 1960s. The research emphasizes both parent and child personalities shape family dynamics. It also highlights the role of education and observational learning in influencing behavior. The ideas resonate with me because they reflect both on my childhood experiences and my current parenting approach. The chapter's discussion of authoritative parenting styles felt especially relevant to my upbringing. I was raised in a strict household in New York City during the high crime years of the 1980s and 1990s. My parents enforced curfews and closely monitored my activity out of protection. This did lead to a bit of a rebellious behavior in my late teenage years. The chapter also revisits research from the 1970s on how peer interaction influences development. Social environments teach a lot to children. Finally, it addresses the powerful influence of modern social media, contrasting it with past media influences from the television and magazine and the pressures it imposed on our generations. Chapter 2 addresses behavior on a molecular level, investigating the biological drivers of the human action. This is a critical topic because children do not respond uniformly to the same stimuli. For example, my nephew is mildly autistic. While he fully understands those around him, his speech is currently impaired. Without the historical advancements in DNA research, we might not have the tools necessary to support children like my nephew today. Studies on identical and fraternal twins highlight that even identical DNA does not guarantee identical behavior or social outcomes, further complicating the nature versus nurture debate. It is evident that genetics play a significant role in socialization, and it is a multi-dimensional issue influenced by various external factors. Chapter 3 explores the brain's role on social development. The brain is described as a solo act that influences nearly every aspect of a child's life, from their level of understanding to their physical maturation. The communication between the brain and the bodily organs is imperative for regulating hormones, cognitive processes, and moods. Because the brain continues to develop into adulthood, many behaviors are simply a byproduct of biological immaturity. This reinforces the nurture argument. We cannot expect children to solve complex adult problems when they lack the necessary lived experience and neurological development. Historically, the brain could only be studied post-mortem. The invention of the CT and MR technology allowed for a deeper look into the living brain without the previous risk of radiation. This has provided a better understanding of memory and how specific brain regions related to behavior and injuries are diagnosed. Chapter 4 covers the evolution of socialization, featuring philosophers like Charles Darwin, who paved the way for the work of Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. I also noted the work of G. Stanley Hall, coined the term storm and stress to describe the adolescent stage characterized by hormonal shifts, body changes, and the pressure of popularity and academic performance. Bowlby expanded on Darwin and Freudian ideas to argue that affection is directly related to the quality of a child and caregiver's relationship. He famously challenged the concept of cupboard love, the idea that infants only show affection to those who feed them. Mary Ainsworth furthered this by developing the strange situation procedure to study maternal deprivation. She identified 3 attachment styles by these experiments. Type B, which is secure. The infant is distressed by the absence of the mother, but is comforted by her when she returns. Type A is insecure avoidance. The infant shows less stress, but can be comforted by a stranger if needed. And lastly, type C, insecure resistant. The child exhibits extreme anxiety and clings to the mother, making it difficult for them to be comforted. Chapter 5 moves toward the Enlightenment stage, exploring how thinkers like Kant and Rousseau influence views on child behavior. I found this interesting when applied to the justice system. Our separate juvenile and adult courts exist because we recognize that a child's brain is not yet fully developed and should not be tried in an adult court because they may not understand adult decisions. Chapter 6 focuses on sociological and external factors that curb development, such as community and social change. This hit home for me when reflecting on 9/11. I vividly remember seeing the plane strike the Twin Towers and my parents rushing to collect my siblings and me from our schools in different boroughs. The public devastation and horror created a profound fear of flying for me that lasted a very long time. I eventually sought help for this, but the experience serves as a powerful example of how macro level social changes and trauma can fundamentally alter an individual's development path and worldview. Thank you so much.